Have you ever felt that uncontrollable urge to eat something sweet at 11 o'clock at night? Or that anxiety that tightens your chest when your boss texts you on a Sunday afternoon? Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to lose weight even though you eat less? Or why you wake up at 3 in the morning for no apparent reason, and your heart is beating a little faster than normal? There's an explanation for all of that. And it's not in your head. It's in your DNA, because your body doesn't know you live in the 21st century. Your body sincerely believes, with all the conviction of 100,000 years of evolution, that you still live in a cave, and it acts accordingly. This is probably the biggest misunderstanding between you and your own body. You think you're in an air-conditioned office with a supermarket 5 minutes away and a comfortable bed waiting for you at home. But your DNA, your genetic code, the operating system that controls how every cell in your body functions, was designed for a completely different world. A world where food was scarce and unpredictable, where danger lurked around every bush, where there was no artificial light, no fixed schedules, no glow-in-the-dark screens. And that mismatch between the world you were designed for and the world you actually live in is the cause of a surprising number of problems that you probably take for granted. Scientists call it an evolutionary mismatch. Daniel Lieberman, a professor of evolutionary biology at Harvard, explains it this way. Many of the diseases that affect us today are not malfunctions of our bodies, but rather the result of a perfectly designed body functioning in an environment for which it wasn't built. Your body isn't broken, it's out of sync, and the difference is enormous. Let's start with something that affects billions of people worldwide: the tendency to accumulate fat. Why does your body seem determined to store every extra calorie as if it were treasure? The answer lies in what geneticists call the thrifty gene hypothesis. For hundreds of thousands of years, our ancestors lived in a world where food wasn't guaranteed. There were good days when they hunted a large animal or found a tree laden with fruit, and there were bad days, sometimes entire weeks, when there was virtually nothing to eat. In that environment, individuals with genes that allowed them to efficiently store energy as body fat had a huge advantage. When famine struck, and it always did, those who had stored the most fat survived. The rest died. It was that simple. Your body inherited those thrifty genes. Your metabolism is programmed to absorb the maximum amount of energy possible from each meal and store the excess as fat. It's waiting for famine. It's preparing for a foodless winter that will never come. But you live in a world with a 24-hour supermarket, full of processed foods with a caloric density your ancestors couldn't even imagine. A single hamburger with fries and a soda contains more calories than a hunter-gatherer consumed in an entire day of walking, searching, and gathering. Your body receives those calories, doesn't know there will be more tomorrow, and stores them. Faithfully. Efficiently. Because that's what it was designed to do. And it's not just fat. Your body reacts to sugar in a way that made perfect sense in prehistoric times, but none in the modern world. Our ancestors got most of their calories from animal protein and fat, which produce slow, steady rises in blood glucose. Refined sugar, processed carbohydrates, sugary drinks, none of that existed. When your body receives a massive sugar load, which happens every time you drink a soda or eat a processed pastry, your system doesn't know how to handle it gracefully. It produces a huge insulin spike. Your glucose plummets, and suddenly you're hungry again, even if you ate an hour ago. Your energy levels rise and fall like a roller coaster. And your body, confused, continues to store fat because it keeps waiting for the famine that never comes. But the evolutionary mismatch goes far beyond diet. Let's talk about stress, because this is where your Stone Age body is doing you enormous damage without you even realizing it. Your stress response system, controlled primarily by a hormone called cortisol and the sympathetic nervous system, is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. It works like this. When your brain detects danger, your body goes into fight or flight mode. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing becomes faster. Blood is redirected from your internal organs to the muscles in your legs and arms. Your pupils dilate. Your digestive system shuts down because digesting food isn't a priority when a predator is chasing you. Your entire body transforms into a fight or flight machine in a matter of seconds. This system was designed for specific physical threats. A lion appearing from the grass, a rival group attacking your camp, a snake crossing your path. Real, immediate threats that are resolved in minutes. Fight, flee, or die. And if you survive, your cortisol levels drop, the system resets, and your body returns to normal. It's a brilliant system for short-lived, explosive threats. The problem is, the modern world doesn't work that way. Today's threats aren't lions or snakes. They're urgent emails at 10 o'clock at night. They're debts you can't pay. They're workplace conflicts that drag on for months. They're constant news reports about economic crises, wars, and natural disasters. None of these threats are solved by fighting or fleeing. But your body doesn't know this. Your stress system activates exactly as if a predator were about to attack you. Cortisol levels rise. Your heart races. Your muscles tense. Your digestive system slows down. And because the threat doesn't disappear in 5 minutes but lasts for days, weeks, or months, your body is trapped in a permanent state of alert for which it wasn't designed. Chronic stress is a modern epidemic caused directly by this imbalance. Your Stone Age body is wired for a cortisol sprint, not a marathon. And when cortisol levels remain elevated for extended periods, the consequences are devastating. High blood pressure, digestive problems, suppressed immune system, difficulty sleeping, weight gain, especially around the abdomen, anxiety, and depression. Alan Goodman, a biological anthropologist at Hampshire College, sums it up perfectly. The stress response system is an ancient mammalian design adapted to protect hunter-gatherers. It's not adapted to protect you from an inbox overflowing with unanswered emails. And then there's sleep, perhaps the clearest example of how your body is still stuck in the Stone Age. Your internal biological clock, the circadian rhythm, is controlled by genes that regulate roughly 24-hour cycles in response to natural light. When the sun rises, your body suppresses the production of melatonin, the sleep hormone, and you wake up. When the sun sets and darkness falls, melatonin levels rise, and your body prepares for sleep. For hundreds of thousands of years, this system worked perfectly because our ancestors lived in accordance with the sun's natural cycle. There was no other option. When it got dark, you slept. When it got light, you woke up. But now you live surrounded by artificial light. And not just any light. The screens of your phone, your computer, and your television emit blue light, exactly the type of light to which your circadian system is most sensitive. Your brain has specialized cells in the retina called photosensitive ganglion cells that contain a protein called melanopsin. These cells aren't for seeing. They serve exclusively to detect ambient light levels and adjust your biological clock. And they are especially sensitive to blue light because, in nature, blue light is dominant during the day, when the sun is high. When you look at your phone at 11 o'clock at night, these cells detect the blue light and send a signal to your brain. It's daytime, suppress melatonin, it's not time to sleep. Your body obeys, and you stay awake without understanding why. Typical indoor lighting in a home or office is around 400 lux. Sunlight on a cloudy day exceeds 10,000 lux. On a clear day, it can reach 100,000 lux. Your circadian system was designed to receive light signals of that intensity during the day and total darkness at night. Instead, it receives a weak and confusing signal from artificial light during the day and a misleading signal from bright screens at night. Your biological clock is permanently disoriented. It doesn't know if it's day or night, if it should be awake or asleep. And that explains why so many people in the modern world have trouble falling asleep, wake up tired, and suffer from a chronic sleep deficit. But the evolutionary mismatch isn't limited to metabolism, stress, and sleep. There are signs of your prehistoric body in places you'd never suspect. Have you ever gotten goosebumps when you're cold, or when you hear a song that moves you? That reaction is completely useless in a modern human. Goosebumps are caused by the contraction of tiny muscles at the base of each body hair called erector pili muscles. In animals with thick fur, this contraction makes the hair stand on end, creating a layer of trapped air that insulates against the cold. It also makes the animal appear larger to a predator. But humans no longer have thick fur. Our hairs are so fine that standing them up doesn't trap air or make us look bigger. It's a system that worked hundreds of thousands of years ago, when we had more body hair, and one that evolution simply hasn't bothered to eliminate. Your body is still sending the command to stand on end for fur you no longer have. The same is true for wisdom teeth. Our ancestors had larger jaws and ate much harder, more fibrous foods that required more chewing surface area. Wisdom teeth made sense in that jaw, but the modern, softer, and more processed diet has caused our jaws to shrink over time. Wisdom teeth still erupt because the genetic code that programs them hasn't changed. But now there's no room. That's why they cause pain and infections, and why they have to be surgically removed. They are teeth designed for a mouth that no longer exists. Even your back is a testament to the mismatch. The human spine originally evolved for walking on all fours. When our ancestors began walking upright some 6 million years ago, the spine had to adapt to support the entire body weight in an upright position, something it wasn't originally designed to do. The spine's S-shaped curve is an evolutionary compromise, an imperfect solution that works reasonably well when you're walking, running, or constantly on the move, as hunter-gatherers did. But when you spend 8 hours sitting in a chair, that spine designed for movement suffers. Chronic back pain, one of the most common ailments in the modern world, is largely the result of a spine designed for the African savanna functioning in an office chair. What all this reveals is something deeply unsettling. Your body isn't designed for your life. It's designed for the lives of your ancestors from 100,000 years ago. Every system in your body, from how you store fat to how you react to stress, from how you sleep to how you process sugar, was calibrated for a world that no longer exists. A world without supermarkets, without artificial light, without bosses sending midnight emails, without processed food available 24/7. Your body is still expecting famine. It's still preparing to flee from predators. It's still trying to sleep when the sun sets and wake up when it rises. And it can't change. Genetic evolution is extraordinarily slow. For a significant genetic trait to change in a population, it takes thousands of generations. The agricultural revolution began only 10,000 years ago. The Industrial Revolution, 250 years ago. The Digital Revolution, 30 years ago. For your DNA, all of that has been a blink of an eye. Your genetic code is virtually identical to that of a hunter-gatherer who lived on the plains of East Africa 100,000 years ago. But the world in which that code has to function has changed more in the last 100 years than in the previous 100,000. The next time you feel guilty for not being able to resist a sweet treat, or get frustrated because you can't sleep well, or your back aches after a long day at work, remember this. It's not your fault. It's a misunderstanding between your body and your world. Your DNA is still programmed to survive in the Stone Age, and you're trying to make it work in a world that's changing too fast for your genes to keep up. Your body isn't failing. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is, it was designed for a world that disappeared thousands of years ago. And that world lives on inside you. In every gene, every reflex, every impulse you can't explain.